Adaptation and Inheritance Progress Quiz 2. Let's look at first our crossword. We're looking first at clue number 1, a species of plants and animals that have only a small population. We would say that those are endangered. 2 down, a chemical that contains all the information needed to make an organism. That is our DNA. 3 across, a store of genetic samples from different species. Key term there being genetic. That is a gene bank. 4 down, the part of the cell where the DNA is stored. That's from year 7. That's the nucleus. A section of DNA that holds information to produce a characteristic. That's our genes. 7, a long strand of DNA is your chromosome. 5 down, the remains of plants that have now turned to stone. Those are what we call fossils. 6 down, the process by which organisms evolve is called natural selection. We'll try 10 first. The development of a species over time is its evolution. Whoops. And then last one, evolution. And then last one, when no more individuals are left anywhere in the world, the species is extinct. And again, let's try and spell it correctly. Eh? All right, just have a quick check. That looks all right to me. Let's go on to the next slide. We're looking for fossils. Okay, and actually you'll remember from the previous slide that we're looking for one where they've turned to stone. This is a stuffed animal. This is bone, and this is an X-ray image. And so this one here is our fossil. Okay, this one caused a lot of trouble. This is our ordering process of how to describe natural selection. We'll start off with the idea that organisms in species show variation. This is caused by differences in their genes. What do those organisms then do? Well, the organisms that are best adapted to survive, they survive and reproduce. Those less well adapted die. Okay, this process is known as survival of the fittest. So we've got the idea here that if a certain organism survives and a certain organism dies, it's because the first organism is fitter or more fit for purpose than the other. Okay, then let's have a look. We then have genes passing on, this is fine, to the offspring in the next generation. That offspring is then going to display the characteristics that made their parents successful. Okay, and this process is repeated many times. This development, over this period of time, can lead to the development of a new species. And that is the process of natural selection. Final one, we've got some matching. Okay, let's go simply for the embryonic cell. The embryonic cell is a term we use prior to being a fetus, the embryo, and that is one that's going to be, if you like, fully formed, contains 46 chromosomes. However, one that contains 23 is going to be your sperm cell. Remember, the sperm cell and the egg cell both contain 23. 23 plus 23 makes 46 in our embryo. And the nucleus, as we've just seen, is part of the cell where DNA is stored. I'm picking these just at randomly according to ones that I find the easiest. Let's have a quick check. We've got gene, we've got chromosome, and we've got DNA left. Well, section of DNA that holds the information to produce a characteristic, that's to do with our genes. Whereas a long strand of DNA, which contains many genes, is our chromosome. And lastly, we've got the DNA, and that's containing the chemical that contains all the information needed to make an organism. Have a look at those answers compared to yours, and remember to correct any mistakes that you've made, check, and then when you're ready to go on, move on to the next stage of the lesson.